Princess Liara stood in the center of the grand hall, her silver royal dress glowing under the blue crystal lights. Today was her bonding ceremony, again, and just like every year, hundreds of alien nobles stood lined up, but not a single one stepped forward to choose her. Everyone looked at the strange silver mark on her neck, a thin glowing line that pulsed like it was alive. Some believed it was a curse. Some believed it was a sign of danger. No male wanted to risk becoming her partner. Liara kept her face calm, but inside her heart felt heavy. She had trained as a warrior, studied as a leader, and cared about her people, yet no one chose her. The queen sat on her throne, tense and silent. Elders whispered among themselves. Again, no one is stepping forward. She carries the mark. No one will take that risk. The hall felt colder with every second, and then a loud metallic sound echoed from the side wall. Clang! Everyone turned. A human mechanic, Evan, was fixing a broken energy panel. He had no idea a royal ceremony was happening. He was only focused on his work, using a simple Earth-made tool that looked almost silly inside the advanced alien hall. He wiped oil from his hands and looked up, confused by the silence and by hundreds of eyes suddenly staring at him. The guard stepped forward aggressively. "Human, step back. You are interrupting the ceremony." Evan raised his hands nervously. "I am sorry. I didn't know this area was restricted." But something unexpected happened. Princess Liara's glowing mark brightened, brighter than anyone had ever seen. She turned slowly, her eyes locking onto Evan. A ripple of shock passed through the hall. The queen stood up. The elders gasped. The guards froze in place. Liara took one step forward, then another, walking straight toward the human. Evan felt his heart pound. Why was the princess coming closer? He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. When she reached him, she stopped only a few inches away. The mark on her neck glowed like a burning star. It felt like it was reacting to him, choosing him, calling him. Everyone held their breath. No one dared to speak. Liara looked into Evan's eyes. Her voice was soft, calm, and strangely emotional. "Human," she said, "what is your name?" "Evan," he whispered. The mark glowed even brighter. A deep silence fell again. The entire kingdom seemed to be waiting, scared of what she might say next. Princess Liara lifted her chin slightly. Her voice echoed through the hall. "Evan, will you be my husband?" The hall exploded with noise, shouts, panic, disbelief. Guards rushed to block them. Elders cried out that this was forbidden. Even the queen's face turned pale with shock. Evan just stood there, frozen. He had come to fix a simple broken panel. And now, in front of thousands, a princess with mysterious power had just asked him a question no human could ever expect. Everything in his life was about to change. The moment Princess Liara asked the question, the entire hall erupted into chaos. Guards rushed forward, forming a circle around Evan as if he were a dangerous creature instead of a simple mechanic. Elders shouted ancient laws, and the queen herself stepped down from her throne, her voice trembling with fear and authority. "Liara, do you understand what you just did?" the queen cried. But Princess Liara didn't move. She stood confidently between Evan and the guards, her glowing mark pulsing like it was alive. She lifted her hand slightly, and the guards hesitated. No one dared to touch her chosen human, not with her mark burning so brightly. Evan slowly raised his hands, trying not to make any sudden movement. "Look, I think there's been a misunderstanding," he said nervously. "I'm just a worker. I don't belong in any ceremony." But Liara turned to him with calm, steady eyes. "You belong where the mark chooses," she said softly. "And today it chose you." Before Evan could answer, the queen ordered the guards, "Take him for questioning. He must be examined. We need to know why the mark reacted." Liara stepped in front of Evan instantly. "No one touches him," she warned. For a moment, mother and daughter stared at each other, one full of fear, one full of determination. Finally, the queen sighed. "Fine, he will not be harmed, but he must be taken to the inner chamber. The elders must see him." Evan followed the guards cautiously, while Liara walked by his side like a shield. He whispered, "Why me? I don't understand." Liara answered quietly. The mark has been silent my whole life. Today, it awakened when I saw you. That has never happened before. They reached the inner chamber, a room glowing with old runes and floating crystals. Several elders stood waiting, their eyes sharp with suspicion. One of them scanned Evan with a strange device. The crystal glowed red, then blue, then silver. The elder stepped back in shock. This cannot be. The human has resonance with the royal mark. Only those tied to the ancient prophecy can do this. Evan blinked. Prophecy? Me? I fix machines. That's it. Another elder whispered, fear in his voice, if the mark truly recognized him. Then the universe itself shifted today. Before anyone could speak more, a guard rushed in, breathless. Your Majesty, an enemy fleet has appeared near the border. They are demanding the princess and the human she selected. The queen's face turned pale. They already know? Liara touched Evan's arm gently. This is why the mark awakened. Something dangerous is coming. Evan felt a cold chill run down his spine. A few hours ago, he was repairing wires. Now a mysterious alien race wanted him captured. Liara looked straight into his eyes. You are not just a human anymore, Evan. You are part of something big, and they will come for you. And for the first time, Evan saw fear in her eyes. Not for herself, but for him. The warning came too late. Before the queen could respond, the entire palace shook with a deep, violent roar. Dust fell from the ceiling. Lights flickered. Evan grabbed the nearest wall to steady himself. The elders panicked, shouting orders. Guards rushed to surround Princess Liara and Evan. Another roar, closer this time, made the floor tremble under their feet. A guard shouted, Your Majesty, the enemy beasts have breached the outer shield. Princess Liara's eyes widened in fear. Already? That fast? Evan felt his heartbeat jump. Beasts? What kind of beasts? No one had time to answer. The chamber doors exploded inward, blown off their hinges. A wave of burning air rushed in. Everyone shielded their faces from a blast. When the smoke cleared, Evan finally saw them. Creatures taller than any soldier, their bodies covered in black armor-like skin, glowing red veins, and razor claws that cut through metal like paper. Energy beasts. They were hunting her and him. The first beast charged straight at Liara. Guards fired energy bolts, but the creature barely slowed. Evan didn't think, he reacted. He grabbed a broken metal rod from the floor and swung it with all his strength. It hit the beast's leg, barely making a dent, but it forced the creature to turn toward him instead. Evan, get back! Liara shouted, but the beast lunged at him. Evan stumbled backward, rolling just in time as the claws tore through the floor where he had been standing. The shock wave knocked him hard, but he forced himself up. His arms shook. He knew he couldn't fight this thing. Then Liara's mark glowed again, brighter than ever. The light shot across her body, forming a thin silver aura. Suddenly, the beast hesitated. It sensed the power. It sensed the connection. Liara raised her hand. A wave of silver energy blasted forward, slamming into the beast and sending it crashing into the opposite wall. The energy left cracks glowing across the chamber. Everyone stared in disbelief. One elder whispered, She has never used that much power before. But another beast entered, then another, then 5 more. They flooded the chamber, like shadows with claws. Guards fought bravely, but for every beast they slowed down, 2 more appeared. Evan stood beside Liara. He didn't know why, but he felt something inside him, like an invisible pull. Her energy reached him, connected with him. Another beast leapt toward Liara. Without thinking, Evan stepped in front of her. The beast slammed into an invisible barrier around him. Silver ripples spread like water. Everyone froze. An elder gasped. The human activated the royal shield? Liara looked at Evan in shock. You protected me, but how? Evan didn't know. He only felt one thing. He couldn't let anything hurt her. Together, they stood shoulder to shoulder. Liara lifted her hand again. Evan braced himself. Their energies aligned instinctively. A combined silver blast shot forward. Bigger, stronger, louder. Every beast in the chamber flew backward, crashing into walls, pillars, and the ground. Silence fell as the creatures dissolved into ashes. The room shook with the echo of the explosion. For a moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Evan stared at his hands, trembling. Liara stared at him like he was something impossible. The queen whispered, almost afraid of the words. The bond has awakened, and the universe outside was already preparing for war. The chamber was still filled with smoke when the queen finally stepped forward, her face pale with fear and realization. The elders gathered around her, whispering in broken voices. Guards checked the hall for more beasts, but everyone knew this was only the beginning. Princess Liara stood close to Evan, her silver aura fading slowly. Evan's breathing was heavy, but he stayed on his feet. He still could not understand how he survived, or how he created a shield strong enough to stop a monster. Liara touched his arm gently. Evan, when you stood in front of me, I felt something inside the mark. It responded to you. It has never responded to anyone. Evan stared at her, confused. I don't know what I did. I just saw the beast coming, and I didn't want it to hurt you. Her eyes softened, but the elder stepped forward immediately. Your Majesty, one elder said, trembling, we must go to the ancient archive. The mark reacting to a human. This is not random. This is prophecy. The queen hesitated only a moment before nodding. Take them both. We must know the truth. Evan followed Liara through long, glowing corridors until they reached a giant circular door covered in symbols older than their kingdom. The elders placed their hands on the symbols, and the door opened with a soft rumble. Inside, the air felt ancient. Crystals floated in slow circles, humming with energy. Runes glowed on every wall, telling stories of the past. One elder activated a large crystal in the center. A hologram appeared, an ancient figure with the same glowing mark on her neck. Liara stepped closer. That is the first princess. The hologram spoke in an old, echoing voice. The marked one will forever stand alone until the universe sends one meant to awaken her power. Evan's eyes widened. Me? That can't be right. Another hologram formed, showing a bright silver trail connecting the marked princess to a figure shaped like a human. The elder continued. The prophecy says the marked royal will bond with someone outside her world. Someone untouched by our energy. Someone whose heart awakens her true form. Evan shook his head slowly. I'm not special. I'm just a mechanic. I fix wires. I don't fight. I don't have powers. But Liara looked at him with a quiet intensity. You protected me, even when you had no reason to, even when you were scared. The queen turned toward Evan. Human, the shield you created does not come from training. It comes from connection. The mark chose you, and because of that, it gave you strength. As if responding, the mark on Liara's neck glowed again, soft but steady. Evan felt a warm pull inside his chest, like invisible threads linking them. Suddenly, the archive shook violently. Crystals cracked. Dust fell from the ceiling. A guard ran and panicked. Your Majesty, the enemy fleet has returned, this time with full force. They want the princess and the human bondmate. Evan's heart pounded. So they're coming after me too now? Liara stepped closer to him, her voice firm and fearless. They will not take you. The mark chose you, and I will protect you as much as you protected me. Another explosion shook the palace. The queen whispered, fear and hope mixing in her voice. Prepare yourselves. The bomb will be tested now. And the kingdom's fate may depend on the two of you. The palace shook again, harder this time. The ceiling lights flickered as guards rushed through corridors, shouting orders. Outside, the sky turned dark as the enemy fleet surrounded the capital like a ring of shadows. Their ships were massive, black, sharp, alive with red veins just like the beast they sent earlier. Evan felt his stomach twist. He had never seen a real battle, never held a weapon stronger than a wrench. But now, every alien soldier was looking at him as if he was part of their defense. Liara stood beside him, her silver aura rising again. Their leader wants my power, she said softly. And now they also want you. Because of the bond? Evan asked. Because you awakened it, she replied, her voice steady but emotional. Without you, I cannot use my full strength. Without me, You cannot survive what's coming. The queen approached them. Human, the bond is not complete. If you choose to accept it fully, you will gain more strength, but you will also be tied to Liara's life. Her pain will be your pain. Her danger will be your danger. Evan swallowed hard. He had known Liara only a short time, but she had risked everything for him. She stood by him. She protected him, and now her people needed him. Evan nodded slowly. What do I need to do? Liara stepped closer, placing her hand gently on his chest. Just say the words. I accept the bond. Evan looked into her glowing eyes, full of fear, hope, and something deeper he didn't understand yet. I accept the bond. The moment the words left his mouth, the world changed. A powerful surge of silver energy exploded from Liara's mark, spreading across her body and then rushing into Evan. He gasped as warmth filled his chest, his arms, his entire body like fire and lightning combined. Liara also shuddered as the bond snapped into place. For the first time, they felt each other's heartbeat, steady, strong, perfectly in sync. Evan straightened his back, feeling a strength he had never known. His hands no longer trembled. His legs felt like steel. The fear in his chest transformed into determination. The guard shouted from outside, "Enemies have broken the outer barrier. They are entering the palace." Liara took Evan's hand. "Stay close. We fight together." The doors of the palace burst open as dozens of red-veined beasts stormed inside. Their roar shook the hall. Soldiers attacked, but the beasts pushed forward like a tidal wave. Evan stepped in front without hesitation. As a beast lunged toward him, his body reacted faster than his mind. A silver shield erupted around him, stronger and wider than before. The beast crashed into it and was thrown back with a thunderous crack. Liara lifted her hands, unleashing a bright pulse of energy that cut through three beasts at once. Together, they moved like one. She attacked. He protected. He blocked. She struck. Their bond created a rhythm the enemy couldn't break. More beasts came, but Evan's shield spread across the corridor, protecting soldiers as well. Liara's energy intensified, turning the battlefield into silver light. A final roar echoed as the enemy leader appeared, a massive dark creature with glowing red eyes. Evan felt Liara's fear. Liara felt Evan's courage. Together, they stepped forward, because now they were no longer alone. The enemy leader stepped into the ruined hall, towering over everyone. Its body was covered in black armor plates, each pulsing with deep red light. Every step shook the ground. Soldiers backed away. Even the bravest warriors hesitated. But Evan and Liara did not move. The bond between them glowed like a silver flame. Their heartbeats matched, their breaths synchronized. For the first time, the enemy leader paused, almost confused by the strange power connecting a human and a royal princess. A deep voice echoed from the creature. "Give me the marked one and the human who awakened her." Liara stepped forward. "You will touch neither of us." Evan felt her fear through the bond, but he also felt her courage. It mixed with his own until both became something stronger. The creature roared and charged. Evan raised his shield instinctively. The silver barrier expanded, larger than ever before, covering both him and Liara. The beast's claws slammed into it, sending sparks everywhere. The impact pushed Evan back a few steps, but he stayed standing. Liara placed her hand on his back. "I am with you." Her energy surged into him. His strength surged into her. The bond reached its highest form. Together, they pushed forward, forcing the creature back. The ground cracked beneath their feet. The air vibrated with power. Silver light burst outward from their united energy, forming a shockwave that sent the enemy leader sliding across the hall. The creature roared again and unleashed a blast of dark energy straight at them. Evan didn't hesitate. He stepped in front of Liara, shield rising, solid as a mountain. The blast hit him with full force, but the shield held. Liara lifted both hands, her aura shining brighter than ever before. "Evan, now!" He nodded. The two combined their powers, her ancient royal energy and his awakened human strength. A beam of silver and white shot forward, cutting through the dark blast, piercing the creature's chest. The enemy leader screamed as cracks spread across its armored body. Red veins shattered. The darkness inside exploded into dust. And then silence. The beasts outside collapsed. The enemy fleet fled. The kingdom was safe. Soldiers cheered. Elders cried in disbelief. The queen placed a hand on her heart, tears shining in her eyes as she watched her daughter and the humans still standing together, still glowing with the bond. Liara looked up at Evan, her voice soft but steady. "You risked everything for me again." Evan laughed breathlessly. "You saved me first." For a long moment, they just stood there, connected, grateful, changed forever. The queen walked toward them slowly. "Evan of Earth, the kingdom owes you everything." She looked at Liara with emotional pride. "And my daughter has finally found the one who was meant for her." Liara stepped closer to Evan, her cheeks glowing with soft silver light. She took his hands gently. "Evan," her voice trembled, not with fear, but with hope. "I asked you once before, when everything was chaos. Now I ask again, not by prophecy, but by my own heart." She looked directly into his eyes. "Will you be my husband?" Evan smiled, warm, real, certain. "Yes, I will." The mark glowed intensely, binding their bond fully, sealing their fate together. The kingdom erupted with cheers. A new legend was born, a princess who was never chosen, a human who was never meant to be a hero, and a bond that changed a kingdom forever.